Now, Rakesh Maria.
Rakesh Maria.
हो गया मुंबईचे पोलीस आयुक्त राकेश मारिया.
Rakesh Maria, the Joint Commissioner of the Mumbai Police, says
the first thought that came to my mind is my career is over. So I just gave him a slap.
A series of 13 coordinated blasts ripped through Mumbai, leaving over 250 people dead.
We recovered 63 AK-56 assault rifles.
We've been covering this podcast for 5 years now, and one name keeps coming up again and again. Usually, you would think in a true crime podcast, if a name keeps coming up again and again, it's a criminal. Except in our case, the one name that has appeared countless times to our fans' delight has been a certain Rakesh Maria. Now, who's this Rakesh Maria? Well, when we asked our audience that we have a mystery guest coming, the polls were filled with just one request. Please let it be Officer Rakesh Maria, a man that has done many, many things in the Indian police. It is, I think the entire podcast would just be listing those out. So without any further ado, I welcome Officer Rakesh Maria. If calm had a face and crime had a problem, it would be you.
Thank you so much. And, the introduction is a little frightening though. One will have to, match up to those standards during the podcast. And this is my first podcast. So
Let's go.
You'll have to pardon whatever it is. Anyway, you can start. I'm looking forward to the questions.
So happy to have you here. I don't know if you know this, but all of these episodes, because your name is so recurring, eventually Aran and I reached the point where the moment your name would show up, we're like, okay, now we know what's going to happen. Look who's here. The man has arrived. We know where this investigation is now headed. So that's kind of what your name became on the podcast.
We were covering the Neeraj Grover case, and, and I didn't know of the case, and Aishwarya was narrating it. And I'm like, poor guy, I hope there's a resolution. And midway she goes, but guess who can enter the case? Rakesh Maria. And we're like, all right, it's going to get solved.
We know what's happening now.
if you know Desi Crime, you know we are Rakesh Maria fans.
Now, I hope you all remember Inspector Rakesh Maria because he's been featured on this podcast multiple times.
It was a sad case. I still
Very
remember
unfortunate.
the father coming to meet me, Mr. Amarnath Grover, after running from pillar to post. I think somebody told him to come to meet me, and I was that time joined CP Crime. And I think this murder, at that time, the missing, it occurred on the 7th of May, 2008. 7th May 2008. I think he came to meet me around the 9th. Because they went to Malad police station, they went to Goregaon police station, and the local police station kept telling them, no, he must have gone to Goa for a holiday, he must have gone here, this is not our jurisdiction. So the poor man was running from pillar to post. Somebody told him to come to meet me, so he came and met me, and he said, my son is missing. And then I made inquiries. By that time, a missing persons complaint was already registered at Malad. I think his friend Nishant Lal with Deepak and Maria Susairaj, they went to the police station to lodge a missing complaint. And the missing complaint was lodged. The policeman from the Malad police station went to their home. ML Jerome, the sub-lieutenant, the Navy, her boyfriend, he was in the house. And the policeman told them that you come tomorrow morning. This was around 2:33 in the morning. Come to the police station for recording your statement. And very nonchalantly they said, okay, we will come. This. And next day, this girl goes to the police station. Her statement is recorded. Then this guy's statement is recorded. So I had all those details. So I don't know who told these people, the youngsters. No, the father came and met me. Okay. The youngsters, that Mr. Amarnath Grover has come and met the Joint Commissioner Crime, that is myself. So they came and came to meet me. Nishant, Lal, Deepak, Maria Susairaj. She was the only girl amongst, there were I think about 5 of them there. And the Joint CP's chair is like this, and there are 5 chairs in front. And they said, our friend is missing and this. So, I had the basic details, A, from Mr. Amarnath Grover, and 2, whatever little I could glean from my inquiries at the police station. So I looked at them, and then there's you have this cop intuition. And I looked at her and I told her, you are my number 1 suspect.
You told her that? On
that very day, I told her, you are my number 1 suspect. She said, sir, why this? So I said, no, because you were there last and this. Anyway, you have nothing to worry if you haven't done anything. But let me make it very clear that you are my number 1 suspect. And they went away. Now, this thing probably rankled in her mind, because the next day she came to meet me with her brother. And I said, why have you come to meet me? He said, no, sir, you said that. I said, my investigation is on. Let me this. And then we started investigating, and the officers, when we discussed the investigation, I told them, there's something, fishy about this. She said he forgot his telephone at my place, and I said, why would somebody, in today's generation, for you youngsters, the telephone is more important than you may forget to wear your clothes, but the phone you not leave. So I said, no, something is fishy. And every time she would come to the investigation, the team used to sit at Bandra. The Bandra Crime Branch unit is next to Bandra Police Station. Okay. So they used to sit there. And, whenever she was in the police station, every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, she would get a call and she would go out. She would get a call and go out. So my fellows told me, sir, she's getting calls, I said, let's get the transcripts and check. So we checked the transcript. It was ML Jerome who was phoning her up. He was tutoring her, which subsequently came to light. He was tutoring her. What are they asking? What reply you should give? How you should behave? This is what till this thing went on, and I think she broke around the 18th or 19th of May. And she said, I have, this is what has happened. I am ready to show you where the body is. Then, the rest is only procedure. Then we went to Manor, where they had burnt the body. And then, we arrested her. We arrested ML Jerome. He had gone back to Kochi. He was in the Navy. And we arrested him too. But then in the court, she told the court that I want to give a confessional statement. And she gave a confessional statement in the court where she said it happened, it happened the spur of the moment. I couldn't do anything. And, in law, there is a grave and sudden provocation.
Right.
It's a very established theory in law. So I think somebody advised her, and she gave a statement. It happened suddenly. I don't know anything. And then, when I had visited the spot, it would have been a room this size, slightly smaller than this. And you have a guy who's nearly 6 feet, murdered and lying. There was no bed, there was a mattress. So he would have, been lying there. And between 7:30 and 7:45 in the morning, the murder had happened. Emil Jerome had taken a flight. The background to this is that he came to meet her at 10:30 in the night. And at that time, Emil Jerome gave a call to her from Kochi. And he sensed that this guy was in the room. So he asked her, is he there? She says, yeah, he's there. And he's behaving in a very funny manner. What she meant by that, he's behaving in a very funny manner, but don't worry, he will go back. He's leaving and he'll go back. Now, that guy there is very suspicious. Yeah. So he phones up again. And she said, no, he's going. And then she disconnects the phone. Now, she told us and she told him subsequently that my battery died down. So the phone disconnected. Right. That fellow, Emil Jerome, he somehow managed to get Neeraj Grover's mobile number. And he phoned up Neeraj Grover. This must have been around 12:17, that means 0017 hours in the morning. And he found him still there. Yeah. So he said, I would like to speak to Maria. So Neeraj Grover hands the phone over to Maria. So he tells her, why is he sitting down? No, he's leaving. And she puts the phone down. Now this guy there, he knows something is, how can at 12:17 he's still around. So there is a Air India Express flight from Kochi to Mumbai at 3:45 in the morning, 0345 hours. He tells his friend, you have to drop me to the airport. That guy takes out his motorbike, he comes, boards the 3:45 flight. The bell rings at 7:30 in the morning at home. She opens the door and she finds him standing in front. He just pushes her aside and walks straight, and he sees this guy lying on the floor without clothes, Neeraj Grover. He loses his cool. Neeraj Grover looks at him and asks Maria, is this your boyfriend? And over that, this fight, hand-to-hand fight starts. Emil goes into the kitchen and picks out the kitchen knife, stabs the fellow there, and he dies. He's killed there. And once he's killed there, both of them make love on the floor in a room smaller than this, with the dead body lying there. Then
they confess to this.
She in the confessional statement says, I was but when we questioned her and we questioned Emil, he said, since we had committed the murder, now we wanted to, it was like a code of omerta.
Wow.
Where, you make love to show that we are one and this secret will not come out. They do that. Then he tells her that you have to go and buy Rexine bags, plastic bags, get a big knife, get air fresheners, get drapes, because in that thing, the room was so small that the curtains also had bloodstains. So he says, he gives her the whole list. And she says, okay, I'll go and do that. Then because in that whole thing, even blood must have been on her. She goes for a shower. He follows her into the bathroom. They make love in the bathroom again.
A second code of
The
Omerta.
second code of Omerta. And then she comes out, goes to, I think in Malad there is a Hypercity Mall. It's called Hypercity Mall. She goes to Hypercity Mall and she purchases everything. Now, as they say, no crime is perfect. She pays for everything by cash, except one item, one Rexine bag, 800 rupees by debit card. And she comes back with all the stuff. This fellow, in the meanwhile, has pulled the body and taken the body to the bathroom, and then he starts chopping off the body. So, in the meanwhile, he's already emptied 2 big duffel bags belonging to her. They put the body into the bags after cutting the body. Now, the press came out with something like 300 pieces and all.
Yeah.
I don't know, nobody counted. And, it's, I don't think, it was just sensation on the part of the press. But they chopped the body to pieces so that it fitted into those 2 or 3 duffel bags. And then he says, we need a vehicle to shift this body. So then she makes a call to a friend of hers who's a choreographer. I think she was a salsa dancer, and there was another guy who was a salsa dancer called Kiran. So Kiran, she phones up Kiran and tells Kiran that I need your car. So Kiran said, for what? He said, no, Emil is in town and he wants to go somewhere, so please give me a car. So he said, you'll have to come to take the car from my residence. So they take an auto, go there, and a grey color Santro car is brought. They subsequently load the body into the Santro, and she drives, and they go to Manor, which is near Thane, and there on the way they fill petrol. While filling petrol, the jerry cans of 5 liters each, he fills those 5-liter cans, goes to the place. He says he had been there earlier on some picnic, so he knew that this was a forested, secluded area. And he tells her to park the thing. He takes the body, pours petrol on the body, and he sets it afire. They come back. She drives up to the highway. Then he takes over the highway, comes back to the house. On the way, they go to the mattress maker, and they say that we need a new cover for the mattress. So that mattress fellow, they bring 2 workers of that mattress shop to take measurements and take the mattress away. So the mattress is taken away. Then they phone up their broker who got them the house that we need somebody to change the curtains. So the curtains are changed. The wall is painted because there is a splatter of blood on there. So they do all that, and I think in 2013 or to 2015, she gets convicted for destruction of evidence, and he gets convicted for homicide, but due to grave and sudden provocation. So I think he gets 10 years for it.
No way.
Or 5 years. He gets 5 years for it. And she gets whatever she was in prison, a little more than that. She does that and she comes out. So
And they're out and about now.
they're out and about, and because today is what, 2000? Should be out. She subsequently, on coming out, got involved. I think some people have this criminal bent of mind. How sometimes bad luck follows you everywhere. For certain people, crime, follows them. So she got in touch with somebody, with another girl. I don't know, but the rumor was that some relationship was there and some cheating offenses. They cheated some people. And then she got rearrested in those cases. So that's her story. She was 2 years older than him.
Yeah.
They went to a school called St. Matthias in Mysore. And her younger sister, Veronica, was 1 year junior to her, and ML was 2 years junior to her. Now, ML knew Veronica, and through Veronica, he got to know this. You know, during investigation, I love questioning the accused or the suspect to understand the psyche. Why this person is doing it, and it helps you in future.
It's like a doctor who's been at the trauma ward for years, and he sees I saw this similar case 15 years ago. It might be that because you've seen a pattern in how people operate, and so if you're able to get to know somebody's psyche, if that ever happens again with a new criminal, you can make correlation.
You could say that. See, for a doctor to treat a disease, he should know the root of that disease. What is the disease? What causes it? How can it be treated? So in our line also it is similar. You see crime. Why does this person commit crime? What prompts him or her to commit the crime? So, I personally felt that, in today's day and age, the joint family system, which made the Indian society survive for so long, there was nobody to tell them what is right and what is wrong. So you just leave your home and you come here to make your mark in the film world here, and you want to succeed or make an entry no matter what cost. No matter what cost. Because there's nobody to tell you what is right or what is wrong. I think in their case, it was something like.
So what's standing out to me is how vividly you remember the details in this case, how you remember the dates, how you remember the times, the exact locations. Is it just this case that maybe stayed with you, or is this how you remember?
I was one of those officers who personally interrogated, questioned people. So you ask me any case, this thing is, it's ingrained in your mind. So,
this is, okay, so of course I've read your first book and the second book, and the first book details some amazing interrogation sequences like it was a movie scene. So it is, for me, every time I need to do a reality check of going, no, Rakesh sir actually did this. This is not a screenplay. I have one personal favorite interrogation of yours, and I'll ask you about it. But I want to know, what's your favorite interrogation you've ever done?
Actually, there can't be a favorite interrogation. 5 fingers, I can't say this. I like this one the best. It's not.
Interesting.
For me, right from childhood, that passion was there, that I want to detect. I want to be a detective. Right, from school, Enid Blyton books. I love the famous 5, how they're going to react, what they're going to do. So Enid Blyton was my favorite. The newspaper, the first thing I would turn in the newspaper is page 3. Now, page 3 then and page 3 today, the connotation is totally different. Page 3 today is
the third advertisement that is in the newspaper.
Page 3 has a different fashion and lifestyle, and page 3 then was the crime page. It used to be the crime page, what has happened in the city. And I used to have these 2 people, Suresh Pense and Vinayak Vakatkar. These were 2 inspectors of the crime branch, then crime branch. And every case you would open crime branch or detected, you would have these 2 people. And I would say, I wish I was in the crime branch. I could detect cases like that. So crime was a passion. Now, even when I became, when I became DCP detection, The first,
After the
after the blast, my bosses, I was lucky to have good bosses also. My bosses were Mr. M.N. Singh, who was the Joint Commissioner Crime, and Mr. Satish Sani was the Commissioner of Police. I was brought into the city to specialize in traffic. I was SP at Alibag in a district called Raigad. And you have, now you have the Mumbai-Pune Expressway. At that time, the expressway was not there. You had this old Bhor Ghat. So you had to climb the ghat, go into Khandala, Lonavala, and, if one vehicle broke down, means you were stranded for a couple of hours. So one day, I get on the wireless, I get Dr. Pasricha, who was the traffic expert here. He was additional commissioner traffic in Mumbai city. He told me, the government is a little this. For the last 8 to 10 hours, the traffic has blocked on Borghat. So Mumbai-Pune is shut. So can you go and have a look? So I took my team and I went to Borghat. Now, whilst climbing up, I noticed that there are dhabas. You have these small eateries along the way which cater to truckers. So there's liquor available there, there is prostitution there, everything. So these people very haphazardly, they park the vehicle and, there is a water tap there, they are having a bath there, they're cleaning the trucks there. So I said, noticed that because of that, the parking and the problem was there. So in the typical way, I took the lathi out from the car and started just swinging the lathi, smashing this headlight, this, whoever the driver was coming in front of me, I was just... So within 35-40 minutes, they on their own had cleared the traffic jam. It got cleared. Now, this information reached the traffic jam in 30-35 minutes, this officer has cleared. So they thought in Mumbai, the powers that be, my bosses, that I had great traffic sense. So they said, you must come to Mumbai. Are you interested in specializing in traffic? Now, I was there for 4.5 years in Raigad as SP. When I went to Raigad, my older son was barely 4 months old. And I did not want to go there. I said, my family is here and this. So I was waiting to come back to Mumbai. So, this was a godsend opportunity. Yeah. Somebody asking me, you want to specialize in traffic? I said, yes, I want to specialize in traffic.
Did you really want to, sir? Or did you, the cost or the...
I wanted to specialize in something.
Okay.
And I felt traffic, yes, it's a great specialization. So I said yes. So I was posted to Mumbai in 1992, sometime in August. So Dr. Pasricha, again, the expert on traffic, he trained me basic 1 month. Then the government sent me to Japan for 3 months traffic training. October, November, December of 1992, I went to Japan, Tokyo, Kobe, Kyoto, to learn traffic. And I liked it. Unlike what people, the common man thinks that you post a constable and everything. It's a very scientific thing, traffic control and management. So I finished my traffic training in December. By that time, the first phase of the communal riots in India, post-Babri Masjid, had already completed. Mumbai had already seen the first phase of the riots. I landed back in Mumbai on 5th January 1993 in Mumbai. Late in the night. I think the flight came in about 11:30. Next morning, that is 6th January 1993, I went to call on wore my uniform, and went to call on the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Shrikant Bapat, another outstanding officer. And around 11 o'clock, I entered his chamber. So he made me sit down. He was talking to me. He says, you had a good holiday. I said, yes, sir, thanks to you. Good holiday in the sense, everybody else was toiling here during the riots and this, whereas I was enjoying Japan. And just when he was talking to me, the wireless cackled and the message came that riots have begun again. The second phase of the communal riots in Mumbai. So he looked at me.
Can you place the year of this, sir? Where are we right now?
6th January 1993. The first phase of the riots was December 1992, post Ayodhya. The second phase started on 6th January 1993.
Just a little aside here. Is this the beginning of why the blasts happen, or are the riots just a...
In the charge sheet, it does mention that one of the causes of the blast was the riots. One of the causes. So, Mr. Bapat, the commissioner, tells me, we didn't have the C-link then. So you had to go through what we call the Chicken's Neck. The Chicken's Neck is LJ Road, St. Michael's Church. You had to along that stretch. So if you know, there is a big traffic booth, chowki, bang opposite St. Michael's Church. So he told me, you go there and just make sure, because Mahim was badly affected during the riots, one of the badly affected areas. So he told me, you go there and make sure that the traffic does not, because that's a VIP route. So you just make sure that the traffic is not impeded there. So I came straight from the office to Mahim Traffic Chowki. I didn't get a chance to go back home. The riots began in full fury, and 6th I was there, I think around the 17th or 18th of Jan, I opened fire at the Reti Bandar. You have these, there's this stretch of beach at Mahim, and you have these shops selling bamboos and so one community set that thing on fire, the other community retaliated. I went and opened fire, brought the situation under control. At another location also, there was a problem, Hari Jendi and near that Raheja hospital. I went there and opened fire, and after that Mahim was okay. So my bosses told me, you stay there, you don't move from there. So I was, from 6th January, I continued to remain there. Peace committee meetings and all the local DCP, I was assisting this till 12th March 1993. The blast happened. I went, you had this blast at Sena Bhavan.
So just take us back to that day, because one thing about our generation, and the only way I came across what the 1993 blasts really were because of your book. Because all I had heard was Dawood involvement as a kid growing up, and that's the extent of it. Because this is not something we have seen in popular culture.
And especially not being from Bombay, I think it's just kind of missed a generation of young people who have no idea what the city could have been like that day.
I read what you've written, and I'm like, how do I not know this chapter of Indian history, modern Indian history? That is so... Like the fact that it was the pioneering serial blasts in the world.
In the world.
And we don't know. So just take us through that.
You had 12 blasts at iconic locations in the city. You had Air India building. You had the Stock Exchange. You had Zaveri Bazaar. You had Century Bazaar. You had the Shiv Sena Bhavan. They couldn't enter Shiv Sena Bhavan, but there is a petrol pump adjoining Shiv Sena Bhavan. So their hope was that you put the vehicle there, and along with this, the Shiv Sena Bhavan also will come down. 257 people dying on one single day in a span of a couple of hours. One blast, other blast. I remember very vividly, that Shiv Sena Bhavan, they said the blast is there. So I knew the moment Shiv Sena Bhavan, this has the potential of creating a huge problem. So I rushed there. When I went there, whole lot of senior Shiv Sena leaders had already assembled there, and crowd was still coming. And they said, no, it's not the petrol pump. Even they must have kept a bomb inside. So I told them, leave it to us. No, there is a bomb inside. So I said, okay, you wait. So I was DCP traffic. So I had traffic personnel with me. And, I remember entering inside with lathis and poking at corners to see if a bomb
You and your
is there.
lathis are...
With the lathis, the lathi is still there with me. It's my remembrance from the day I joined service. That lathi has remained with me. It's there even today. So, poking at corners and then coming out after about half an hour and telling them there is nothing there. And whilst I'm talking to them, you hear another explosion. That is Plaza Cinema at Plaza. Then after a short while, my wireless operator comes and tells me, sir, at Century Bazaar, there is a huge thing. Many people have died in Century Bazaar. So I spoke to the Shiv Sena leaders and I told them, this is something totally different.
Yeah.
This is not an attack on Sena Bhavan. This is an attack on the city, on the country. You people, please leave and allow us to do the work. By that time, they also came to know and they found that this is something out of the ordinary. So they dispersed. And, they were in the process of dispersing when we heard the noise at Plaza. But on the wireless, I was told that some people came on a motorcycle, lobbed hand grenades at the fisherman colony and opened fire at the fisherman colony. So now all the fisher folk and the majority community members, they've all assembled there and they're all going to attack the minority community. So I felt, this blast has happened, somebody will go there. So I rushed from there to fisherman colony.
Just a technical question here. With you being DCP traffic, is this part of the job? Okay.
No. I was just assisting. There was a deputy commissioner of Zone 4 at that time. So I was just assisting them. But my city, my force, I'm a member of the Mumbai city. So I rushed there. The additional commissioner, Mr. Y.C. Pawar, also had come by that time. We managed to convince them that please go, this is something different, this is a war. So what you are thinking is totally different. Go, allow us to do the work.
And by that point, you guys were in your head convinced we are in a war-like situation.
Because
right?
through the wireless, we knew about Air India, we knew about Zaveri Bazaar, we knew about StockX. Yeah. So this is happening all over. So it's not a small incident. It's something which just never ever happened before. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so that one dispersed that crowd, and it was around 7:38 in the evening when the message came that the commissioner of police, by that time Mr. A.S. Samra, Sikh gentleman, he had taken over as commissioner of police Mumbai. They said he's coming to Sena Bhavan and he wants me to remain there. So I went there. I explained to him what happened, so he made me sit in the car and we came towards Fisherman Colony. And, if you've read my first book, in the first book, when I sat with him, the first thing he asked me is, have you eaten something? I felt, this man who's a commissioner of police, in such crisis, he is thinking of the junior. Yeah. He's thinking of the well-being and welfare of the subordinates. And what must be going on in his mind in a city which has just come out from massive riots and, has the potential of, riots beginning all over again. I went, he visited Fisherman Colony, he spoke to everybody, and then from there came to Sea Rock Hotel. That time the Sea Rock Hotel, because there were blasts inside Sea Rock Hotel also, there were blasts at Centaur, and also he was on the way visiting all the sites. Over. And, the priority at that time was to just make sure that communal riots don't begin again. The investigation and all part, the crime branch and those people were doing it. So one was patrolling in that area. I had in my first stint in Mumbai was as DCP Zone 4, and Mahim was my police station at that time. So I had the contacts, some informants there to know what is happening in Mahim. So 12th got over, 13th went in ensuring that there were no riots anywhere. I continued to sleep from 6th January 1993 till that day in the traffic chowki.
Yeah.
And 14th, sometime in the afternoon, a call came that on Naigaon Crossroad, which is opposite Dadar railway station, there is a Dr. Jaychand Mandot. He had his dispensary. So on 12th March, when the blast happened, he shut the dispensary and went home. Everybody must have done, just go home to the safety of your homes. He didn't open the dispensary on the 13th. But on the 14th, when he opened the dispensary, he found the Bajaj scooter parked outside his dispensary. Now, by that time, everybody in Mumbai city, that time Bombay, knew that cars and scooters have been used for the blast. So he phoned up 100 and he told 100, there is a suspicious looking scooter. Please send somebody. Control room gave a call to Matunga police station, in whose jurisdiction this thing came. They went there, opened it and saw some sticky substance in the dicky. And they said, there is something there. Please send for the bomb squad. We don't know what it is. So the bomb squad, the nearest bomb squad was Major Jadav's at Santa Cruz Airport. So from Santa Cruz Airport, the BDDS, Detection and Disposal, Bomb Detection and Disposal Squad, they came there. Now I was DCP traffic, so we had to cordon off the area. We had to do diversions of traffic. So it was my job. So me along with my team from Mahim came to Naigaon Crossroad and put the barricades up, diverted the traffic, and I stood there whilst the BDDS was doing this. Then Major Jadhav came and, since I was the senior most there, DCP rank officer there, he came and told me it looks to be something like RDX or Simtex PETN with grease and this. One had not even heard what is this. And he took the thing away. So my traffic crane was called to tow the scooter, Bajaj scooter, to Matunga police station. Now, whilst I'm doing that, it must have been around 6:15, 6:30 in the evening there. The call comes on my vehicle that King calling Panther. Now, King is the code sign of Commissioner of Police, Mumbai.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, his call sign is King. And Panther was the call sign of DCP traffic. Okay. So he says, King calling Panther. He says, where are you? I said, sir, I'm at Naigaon Crossroad. Okay, just come right away to the office. So I went, it was a stressful 15-20 minutes. Have I done something wrong? Why, I'm DCP traffic. Why is he calling me CP at this time? So I'm trying to analyze my actions and
every possible thing in
for the last 48 hours. What have I done wrong? What have I done this? Anyway, I reach the commissioner's chamber, and there he is sitting down along with Joint Commissioner Crime, Mr. M.N. Singh. So, after pleasantries, I exchange, I salute, good evening, sir. So come and sit down there. Mr. Samra starts, these blasts have happened. so many people have died. We've not been able to detect it so far. It's a challenge for us. So I am wondering at the back of my mind, I am DCP traffic, one of the junior most DCPs in the city. Why is the commissioner telling me all this? And then suddenly I hear him saying, we want you to form your team and start investigation. For a second, my mind went numb. And the first thought that came to my mind is, my career is over. Why? Because, this thing, the first time ever in the world we had something like that. The World Trade Center blast came later on. Ours was before that. Though, eyes of the entire world, practically every investigating agency in the world were on Mumbai. Everybody is watching what is happening, and my initial thing was, you need the sacrificial lamb, who will take the entire blame. So they have put me in front now, this guy is investigating. Now all this is going on fast forward in my mind, but then again the thought came to my mind, I've been since childhood wanting to detect cases.
Yeah.
What bigger case can I get than this one? If I detect it, it'll be this. I nodded my head, and then Mr. Memon Singh said, I had worked under Mr. Memon Singh when I was SP at Usmanabad, Superintendent of Police at Usmanabad, and he was DIG Aurangabad Range. He was the boss then. So for a short while I had worked under him there. With Mr. Samra, when I was undergoing training at Police Training College in Nashik, he was the principal there. So he saw me training, and beyond that there was nothing. Anyway, I saluted and I came out. If you ask me, the 10-15 minutes after that, I don't know what I was thinking. I came and sat in the vehicle. The only thing I told the driver was, Chalo Mahim traffic chowki. And, just imagine, we didn't have mobile phones then. 1993, there were no mobile phones. So I came to the chowki. And from there, I made a call to my wife, Preeti. I told Preeti, I said, they have given the investigation to me. So either we'll rejoice or we will suffer. So he said, why? Have confidence in yourself, this, that. Anyway, put the phone down. And I called the same, I had this fixed group of this traffic people who were with me right through the riots. So ACP Bhaskar Dangle was there, Inspector Didar Singh, Inspector Naval Driver, API Kirdant, Sub-Inspectors Vani, Nadgowda. These were the officers with me at that time. One Sikh, one Parsi, who were there with me right through. And I told them, the investigation has been given to us. So they looked at me shocked. They said, Sir, Amala? So I said, yes, it has been given to us. Sir, Ami kai karnar? I said, no, we'll do, it has been given. And let's start. So from there, I made a call to the control room. And I asked the control room, tell me on the 12th, one day, 24 hours, 12th, all the peculiar incidents which have occurred in the city on that day. So they told me, sir, we'll get back to you. In about 15-20 minutes, they got back to me after checking the station diaries at the control room. And they said, sir, there were 3 incidents. One outside JW Marriott at Juhu, the Marriott Hotel at Juhu. There was 2 cars came, they exchanged bags. You see, I'll take one step back. after the blast, the public became hypersensitive. It always happens. Whether it is 93 or whether it is 26.
Every
11.
little thing just stands.
Every little thing is suspicious, and everybody keeps phoning up 100. So he said there were 3 incidents reported. The one was at this Marriott hotel where 2 cars came, they exchanged bags and they went away. Second incident was at Mulund, where again 2 cars came, they spoke to each other, and the moment the blast started, they went away from there. And the third incident is of Worli, where a abandoned Maruti van was found, and it has been towed and taken away to Worli police station. And some arms and other things have been found in that van. So I told my people, let's go to Worli. So we went to Worli. It must have been around 10:30 in the night. And at Worli, there were these 2 young officers who remained with me right through my career. One took voluntary retirement and one just retired recently. There was this probationary sub-inspector called Dinesh Kadam and another sub-inspector called Dhananjay Dawood. One was detection officer, one was beat officer. So they were there. So I asked them, "Can you tell me what it is?" So I found them very enthusiastic and and they told me, "Sir, this MFC 1972 is the Maruti van. This MFC 1972 has been found there, and we got 6 AK-56 rifles. We've got about 9 or 10 hand grenades. We found umpteen number of shells. We found a 9mm pistol there. We found a detonator in the vehicle." So I said, what do you feel? So the general impression was that some underworld guys were moving in the vehicle. The blast took place, so they realized now Nakabandi, you have these Nakabandis, and Nakabandi will take place. So they abandoned the vehicle there and they left. So I was DCP traffic. Again, I feel it's all the Almighty God, the blessings of my parents, elders, the support of the seniors, where, everything fell in place. I was DCP traffic, so I had access to the vehicle belongs to whom. Otherwise normally you have to write to the RTO, it takes time, you have to wait for the office to open next day. I just spoke to the traffic, and they said, "You tell me who this vehicle belongs to." And Phat karke, within 5-10 minutes, the thing came, "Sir, Rubina Suleiman Memon." It is Rubina Suleiman Memon.
That's the first name that comes up in the 1993 case. Everything.
First
this
time,
is the first
the first is, of course, MFC 1972.
Yeah.
From there, you come to know Rubina Suleiman Memon. What is the address of Rubina Suleiman Memon? It is Al Hussaini building at Mahim. So I said, "Chalo Mahim." So we all, save my traffic guys and these 2 new officers, we come to Mahim. Now, came to Mahim, and again traffic chowki, not the police station, at the traffic chowki. Then I called one of my informants. I told you I had worked in Zone 4 before. I called one of my informants and I said, "Who is this Memon family in Al Hussaini building?" So that fellow tells me, "Sir, Underworld, gangster hai, and बहुत danger hai." I said, "Who?" He said, "Tiger Memon." I said, "Who is this Tiger Memon?" And not, he said, "Sir, he's a dangerous fellow. इसने custom वाले के ऊपर भी firing किया है. He has fired on the customs also earlier." So I said, "ठीक है." He went away. Then I told my people, "Call Panchas. Let's go to Al Hussaini building." We went to Al Hussaini building. The flat was locked. So we made a panchnama and called video camera and we videographed the whole thing. We broke open the door and we entered inside, and my fellows started searching the flat inside. Now I'm standing, there is the door, the entry door, there is a passage, small passage Then you go to the drawing room and the other rooms and all. And in the passage, in the corner, there is a refrigerator. One was tired, so many days. So I put my hand on the refrigerator, and I was leaning on it. I felt some metallic thing on my arm. I looked at it. It was a Bajaj scooter key. Oh my God. It was a Bajaj scooter key. So I said, Bajaj scooter key.
That is wild.
That very afternoon, we had done that Bajaj scooter, that, Naigaon crossroad.
Yeah.
I have towed this thing and taken it there. So I took the key and I asked ACP Bhaskar Dangle, my ACP. I said, take this key, go to Matunga police station, see if it fits. And, there was a number 449 on the key. And then, he went, and in the meanwhile, since I had to form a team, I had only these 5 or 6 guys and these 2 new boys who joined me. So I had to form my team. So I was asking them, can you tell me who are the good fellows who will be? So I was drawing up a list. Within half an hour, in the traffic chowki, the phone rings, landline rings. So that fellow comes to me, Sir, Bhaskar Dangle Sahib wants to talk to you. So I picked up, I don't think Bhaskar Dangle needed the phone. From there he was shouting at me, Sir, it matched. The key matched that scooter.
Crazy.
So I said, oh, we are on the right track now. And then I called the informant again. I said, now you tell me more about this Tiger Memon. Who is this Tiger Memon? Then he told me that Tiger Memon ka ek right-hand aadmi hai. Right-hand man is there. Asghar Muqaddam. Asghar Yusuf Muqaddam. He is there. And he will tell you everything about Tiger. So I asked Nadgowda and Kirdant, this is, he says he stays in Andheri, this is the area, please go and bring Asghar Yusuf Muqaddam to Mahim. And then again I got busy with the thing. By around 3:30 in the morning, Asghar Yusuf Muqaddam comes in with 2 elderly couples accompanying him. And I'm in the traffic chowki. I'm in the traffic chowki.
Your headquarters right now is the chowki.
Is the chowki. They come in and they stand in front of me. So I tell him ki tu Tiger ka aadmi hai. So he looks at me and he says, Sir, मैं उसके साथ में काम करता था, but बहुत कमीना आदमी है, पगार टाइम पर नहीं देता है, बहुत गाली उली देता है, इसलिए मैंने उसको छोड़ दिया. Means he is very abusive and he doesn't pay on time, so I've left him. Then I looked at him and I felt he was not coming out with the truth. So behind him, this officer, Dinesh Kadam, was standing. So I looked at Dinesh Kadam and did this. So Dinesh Kadam put his hand on Asghar Muqaddam's shoulder and pressed it. This. So he winced. The moment he winced, one of the couples, elderly couples, who was not the parents, because one said they were the parents, one said they were the uncle aunt. The uncle aunt told me कि सर बेचारा लड़का है, इसका तो कुछ नहीं है, इसने कोई बहुत ही मासूम लड़का है, and this that. So and the look which they gave Asghar Muqaddam and what Asghar Muqaddam gave them a look, I felt that their relationship was, it something different. So again something came in my mind and I looked at Asghar Muqaddam and I told Asghar Muqaddam, मैं तुझे अरेस्ट कर रहा हूँ. I am arresting you in this bomb blast case. I am arresting this couple, means that couple who winced. I am arresting them for harboring a terrorist like you. He looked at me and he said, Sir, आपसे अकेले में बात कर सकता हूँ क्या? I told everybody leave the room, including the elderly couples, everybody. Only Asghar Yusuf Muqaddam and myself. And in the next 1 hour, I had the whole bomb blast story with me, the planning, the training, the landing of explosives, the meetings which Tiger Memon took, how the targets were fixed, how they came to Al Husseini building on the 11th. They started filling the explosives from the garage, and then they went to different locations. In fact, MFC 1972 were these guys were on the way to the in addition to the bomb blasts, this team's job was to go to the Bombay Municipal Corporation. I'm using the word Bombay because that time it was Bombay. The Bombay Municipal Corporation office, and to indiscriminately open fire there and kill Shiv Sena and BJP corporators there, lob hand grenades and this. Now, whilst they had just crossed Century Bazaar, that commander jeep in Century Bazaar exploded. So their vehicle was lifted in the air because of all the blasts in vehicles that day. The commander vehicle was the most deadly. In fact, there was a BST double-decker bus with its occupants which just simply melted. No bodies recovered, nothing. That was the impact of that of the commander jeep there. So he gave me the entire story. By the time finished, it was maybe around 5:30 in the morning. I felt that it's too early to wake up my bosses at 5:30. They deserve some well-needed rest. So I made the first call to my wife. From there, I told her we've detected the case. And the first thing she told me, which means that I will not see you for some time now. I said, yeah, that is this. The second call I made to my mother. And I told her, I've detected this case, but I need your blessings. My mother was very religious. She had a temple. And, every time, even later on, the cases which came, any challenging case, she would just sit down in front of a small temple and she would start praying. So I told her, I need your prayers. Then at about 6:30 in the morning, I phoned up Mr. M.N. Singh. I told him, sir, case detected. These are the facts. I need staff now to go because the instructions to them are to come via different routes, reach Nepal, and from Nepal they would all be flown to Dubai. So now it's just the chase.
So before we get into the chase, you talked about this guy unfurling the entire how it happened, and you detail this very well in your book. One facet of it that, again, and this is from perhaps my youthfulness, perhaps my ignorance, is that we hear Pakistan funds terrorism very often now with everything that's happening. And, we from the outside, it's like, obviously they do, but we never truly sort of join the dots of where have we seen that happen or what are the exact modalities of how it operates. In how the 1993 ones went about, it was literally a foreign country that funded those attacks to a very large extent.
The Pakistan
They were
hand was
training
very obvious.
Yeah.
Just to enumerate a few things. These guys were sent for training to Pakistan. They flew from Mumbai to Dubai. From Dubai, by PIA, Pakistan International Airlines, they flew to Islamabad. They did training there for 45 days. By PIA, they come from Islamabad to Dubai, and then from Dubai back to Mumbai. Now, when the few passports that we seized, it had immigration stamp of leaving Mumbai, immigration stamp of entering Dubai, immigration stamp of leaving Dubai. Then there is for 45 days, there is no stamp of Pakistan or anything. They come back after 45 days as entry in Dubai, coming to India, entry here. So for 45 days, there is nothing.
Yeah.
Now, how can it happen unless the government is complicit with it? This is one. Number two, the hand grenades that were recovered. Now, the hand grenades were originally from a company called Argis, ARGES, Argis in It's it's a Scandinavian country, and we wrote to them. So they said that we have given this franchisee to Pakistan, and Pakistan has a ammunition making center at WH, and this WAR ordnance factory is making this type of
My God.
bombs. So that was also there. We had people who went to Pakistan. We arrested the chaps there. They came and told us कि we went to Pakistan, Islamabad में हमको आर्मी वालों ने ट्रेनिंग दिया, ये किया, वो किया. All that is there. So, they may cry horse, but, their complicity is absolutely there. The weapons, the smuggling which they landed in that, it was the Pakistan hand.
Yeah. To me, just the perspective that this gives of about how 1993 came about, it doesn't feel like, there's one thing with 9/11 and all these attacks where you're like, okay, it's a non-state actor that got empowered and enriched, sure, by different countries' funding, but it's still a non-state actor with its own independent identity. And so when you have the war on terrorism, it is against the non-state actor more than the state itself. In this case, it's not a non-state actor. It is the state of Pakistan that did that. And that revelation to me, because for the longest time, I'm like 1993 plus, Mafia, Underworld. And I'm reading what you're writing, it's like, oh, Underworld is just the vehicle.
Destroy India by 1,000 cuts. This was the policy of Pakistan. Blast here, communal right here, keep doing that. Then they got through, they created an organization called SIMI, Students Islamic Movement of India. And through SIMI, they started fomenting trouble all over the country, creating, communal tension and this. The government of India started keeping a watch on SIMI, and they were being very closely watched. Now, when the Babri Masjid and the riots happened and they wanted to engineer blasts, see, the original plan was to engineer blasts all over the country on one day, in April, when Shiv Jayanti is there, Shivaji Maharaj Jayanti is there. On that one day, they had planned out to do blasts in Bombay, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Surat, Indore, all these places they had planned to do blasts. Now to engineer these blasts, the plan, the Pakistan plan was have these massive blasts all over the country. The majority population will point fingers at the minority population. Then you would have communal riots. Now, when you have communal riots, like how December 92 and January 1993, we will have minority community boys trained in handling weapons and other things so that they can protect minor community localities. But how are you going to do this? How such a large amount of explosives, weapons, how is it going to come into the country? How are we going to get boys to be trained? That is where the Underworld came in. The Underworld was a ready-made infrastructure for them. They didn't have to do anything. Underworld was already doing smuggling of silver and gold and other things. So they would use that network to bring in the explosives and this. Then boys for training, they would ask the Underworld to this. So you had Anis Abraham, you had Muhammad Dosa, you had Tiger Memon, you had Salim Kurla, all these Underworld characters from Mumbai selecting boys. And from January 1993 to March 1993, close to 23 to 40 boys were sent for training to Pakistan. They finished training and they came back. In the meanwhile, landings of arms and explosives took place. On 9th January, Muhammad Dosa organized landing at Dighi in the jurisdiction of Goregaon police station in Raigad. So landing of explosives. The first landing took place on 9th.
And when you say landing, it
When
means
landing
via
means
boat.
that, there's a big boat which comes. It has all the explosives. The small fishing vessels go out from our shores. They transfer the explosives, arms, ammunition onto the small boats. The small boats bring it in, and you have Dawood's people. You have Tiger Memon, you have Muhammad Dosa. Muhammad Dosa through his landing agents, Uttam Poddar and Mechanic Chacha, who are doing landing on 9 January. And here you have Tiger Memon through Dawood Fanse alias Dawood Takla, Dadabhai Parkar, this and Rahim Karbelkar or Rahim Laundrywala, who are Tiger Memon's landing agents. They do landings between the 2nd to the 8th of February. They do their landings. In this process, they have subverted the local police station guys. They've subverted the custom officials, and they bring the weapons here to be used on the final day. Now, I'll just give you the magnitude of this. 2,313 kgs of RDX we recovered. 2,313 kgs of RDX. We recovered 1,132 kgs of gelatin. We recovered 63 AK-56 assault rifles. We recovered 496 RG's hand grenades. And we recovered 39,000 rounds of AK-56 and 9mm pistol. This is what we recovered from there. And in the entire blast which took place in Mumbai, they must have used anywhere from 27 kgs to around 40-45 kgs.
The landing and what happened between the landing and the eventual blast is a very interesting phase of the detection story. Where were they keeping all the stuff and sort of that chase that you went down on? One question before you dive into the chase. I get that the operatives, and whether via Simi or whatever, the operatives might have been recruited via religious fundamentalism, which is easy to do if you're from a poor family. I can understand why you are going down that route. What I don't get is the underworld leaders that had thriving businesses, quote unquote, had secular businesses, so to say. They were working with people from all faiths. What convinced them to join Pakistan in this? Because they had their business going so well. So clearly money they were making. Did they have more money to make out of this, or were they brainwashed, or this a power?
No.
What convinced them?
See, you have to go back to the atmosphere and the emotions in December 93, December 92 riots and January 93 riots. The distrust between the communities, it has reached its peak. And now in the underworld, we were hearing at that time during the course of the investigation that when the first phase of the riots began, the minority community members, some of them sent a word to Dawood, who was in Dubai at that time, asking for help. But he didn't do anything. Now, when the second phase started, again the appeal for help went, he didn't do anything. Now the story doing the round was that, somebody sent him bangles to Dawood, that this is the ultimate Indian insult to a person's manhood. You take the bangles, you are not able to do it. Now, whether the bangles were sent by some people from Bombay or whether the ISI sent it, ISI sent it to him to provoke him to this. One doesn't know. But so all this, the underworld, we have to do something, something. And the underworld took up the Muslim minority community leadership of this city. And that's how they did it. There was nothing monetary about it. In fact, they spent money. They spent money on this. Now you take Tiger Memon's case. Now Tiger Memon had an office called Tejarat International in the jurisdiction of Mahim police station. Now during the riots, somebody burnt down the office. The office was totally burnt. He was angry and itching to do something. And this gave him an opportunity कि, अच्छा ऐसे हम ये करके दिखाएंगे. So, the emotions at that time were so surcharged that they fell prey to what Pakistan wanted them to do. And Pakistan got a ready-made infrastructure through the underworld.
And I really want to talk about this. How you got to being the Rakesh Maria we all know. Is the 1993 blast really propelled your career in detection and whatnot? But it started when you gave your mother that call, when you called Preeti ma'am to say, ho gaya. That was the first half of that. And then there was the chase, which arguably was tougher. Can you just shed a little light on that chase that went and how you...
See, I had mentioned earlier, there were no mobile phones at that time. The lucky few had what at that time we felt was absolutely top class pagers.
Hi-fi.
Hi-fi, pagers used to be there. So we didn't have that. But the chase was there because, we were one determination, one aim. Just make sure these chaps don't reach Nepal. Yeah. Block them wherever it is. So I had teams going, I think we visited close to 26, 27 states. Our teams went. And traveling by bus and train, airfare, to allow somebody to fly by air, you needed a lot of permissions. So our teams went by trains to all these places, and we caught fellows and came. In the blast investigation, we have an approver who we've named as Badshah Khan. So when we arrested Badshah Khan, I was interrogating him along with my team. And now I don't know, Badshah Khan had a change of heart. He felt that they were all taken for a ride. They've been left with the bathtub and the baby. And Tiger Memon has gone to Dubai. And they are all facing the music here. So he told me, sir, I will help you.
This is how soon after
Maybe
you
a
made that call to your family? And
maybe a month.
Okay.
Maybe a month. So he took us to Rampur. We picked him up from there. From Rampur, we came to Delhi. From Rampur, we made him speak to Tiger Memon. Tiger Memon told him, come to Delhi. So he came to Delhi. So Tiger Memon said, नहीं दिल्ली ने तो अभी ट्रेन पकड़ के तू कलकत्ता. So he came to Calcutta. Now that is a time when my fellows phoned me up. They used to go to this ISD STD booth and make the call. So they made the call to me, कि sir, we have to take him to Calcutta. But he's saying that he has to stay all alone in the room. If he stays with somebody, they will send somebody, Tiger will send somebody first to find out अकेला है कि क्या है. तो उसको अकेला रूम में छोड़ना है कि नहीं छोड़ना. Now that is a decision which, as a leader you have to make. It's a gamble which you
High
take.
risk, high
He
reward.
can be there all by himself and suddenly he disappears, So one has to take that gamble. So I said, no, allow him to this. So he was all alone in the room. Then he made a call to Tiger, and Tiger Memon told him, come out and stand on the road. I'm sending somebody to get you. So my fellows panicked. They said, sir, isko akela chhode kya raste? I said, yeah,
And they're going to the ISD booth every time to tell you what's happening.
because there's no mobile phone, nothing. Pager ujar ka to sawal hi nahi uthta. So they go to the booth every time and they such a diligent lot of officers, and they in the end, this Calcutta trip, which I came to know when I was joint CP crime, the rewards for the Bomb Blast case of 1993 came sometime in 2009.
And the gold.
And that money which was given, I had to distribute it amongst all the team. So somebody was sitting on, one of the team members was sitting on me. He said, sir, in दोनों को थोड़ा ज़्यादा देना. I said, क्यों? He said, sir, ये लोग ने अपना घड़ी और गोल्ड चेन बेचा है. In Calcutta, they sold that to get money to travel and to eat and this. So, these are things which nobody realizes, nobody knows. But we as leaders, we come to know later on, yes, so they used to make these calls to me. And I told them, you allow him to go and stand there. Yeah. So the fellow went and stood there, and an ambassador car comes. Slowly it comes, it sees him, it goes in front and it halts. Now this guy doesn't know whether he should sit in the car or not. So he just stands there, and we have one guy far away. We've told this fellow, keep watching him, your instructions that fellow will give. So that fellow tells him, don't this. And the car moves. They come back. Then this fellow says, कि sir वो गाड़ी में. I said, no, you do that. तुम लोग एक काम करो, तुम लोग अपना गाड़ी आगे रखो. In case he sits in the car, you follow the thing. But Tiger, these underworld fellows have this antennae, this sixth sense, which which is more, it is sharper than the normal human being. He smelt a fish. Why is this fellow not coming to sit down in the car? He should have, in normal circumstances, he'll come and sit in the car. He's not coming to sit in the car. So next time he phoned up, Tiger said, okay, tu bahar aaja. So he came outside and no car came. After Tiger never picked up his call. So these are decisions. And right through the thing, arresting people. We had this very funny incident where there was from the royal family, there's a chap called Salim Tonk, from the Tonk royal family. Now, one group of boys was asked to go to Tonk. You all hide there for a few days, let things settle down, then you people come to Nepal. So this is, the approver told us that they are going to go to Tonk. So I sent Dinesh Kadam along with the team to Tonk. But in Tonk, how can we enter the palace? We don't know anything there. So they gave me
and according to the approval, the palace was housing...
Salim Tonk
Salim Tonk
was housing these guys in the palace. Jeez. So he gives a call to me कि sir अंदर तो जाना हमको बहुत मुश्किल है ये. So I said ठीक है, you do one thing, I'm sending Salim Tonk. So I took permission and we flew Salim Tonk by air. And we can't put a handcuff. So like lovers, you hold hand like this and you walk. But then Salim Tonk says, because as he was walking towards his palace, people are, lying prostrate in front of him, touching his feet and other things. So he tells my fellows, don't put the hand on all that, people will... So our fellows are walking along with him. He enters the palace and his brother comes and tells him that your guests have left just 2 days before. Then while this is going on, his mother, who is the queen there, the message comes that she wants to see Salim Tonk along with friends. So Salim Tonk takes the team of Mumbai cops as his friends, and the mother, as tradition and benevolence, she gives 100 rupee notes to the staff which is there. So they take that 100 rupee notes and they come out again, hold his hand and bring him back here. So that, this is the chase which was there. This is the experience that many times we missed people. Either guy miss ho gaya, ye ho gaya. But in the end, we arrested 189 accused in that case.
Wow.
189 accused. People say ki why Tiger, Memon and all this. See, Tiger left on 11th.
Yeah.
He did that filling another thing. That intervening night of 11th and 12th, he has left on 12th morning 5:30 Emirates flight before the blast takes place. His family, he has moved from the 3rd onwards. He has moved his family.
So there are 2 of these 189 accused that I want to dive into. One is the person that came into your clutches via the restaurant owners who revealed something. I would love if you tell me about that, because I don't want to, I want you to tell the story. I don't want to break it for the audience, but the perception, again, and this is, call it ignorance, call it youthfulness. We've seen the film, Sanju. And that's primarily where our information of what actually happened comes from. That's what we think actually happened. And so we all walked out of that film going, "Arey bichara." And then I read your book and I was like, pardon my French, but...
See, I'll tell you. Before I tell you how it happened, let me tell you what is the law.
Yeah.
5 of us decide to go and rob a bank. 2 of you enter the bank. 1 is standing guard at the door. 1 is standing guard on the road, and I'm driving the car, waiting for all of you to come with the... Now, whilst the robbery is in process, somebody does something, you take out your gun and you shoot that person dead.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'm sitting down in the car. I cannot say I was not there. Each of us has a role to play towards the final goal. Okay. Now you understood what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Now I'll come back to what happened. During the course of investigation, we arrested a character called Baba Musa Chauhan. Baba Musa Chauhan was the owner of Chauhan Motor Driving School. Again, information came to us that Baba Musa Chauhan is responsible for distribution of arms in the city. So Baba Musa Chauhan is brought. Now, that was a common feature at that time. The moment you bring somebody, they'll deny. Sir, हमने तो कुछ नहीं किया, हमको तो कुछ मालूम नहीं, ये नहीं, वो नहीं. So we told them, see, the very fact that we picked you up and brought to the... But sir, मेरे को कुछ मालूम नहीं, but these 2 people will give you lot of information. Who? Hanif Kadawala and Samir Hingora. Who are Hanif Kadawala and Samir Hingora? Hanif Kadawala is the proprietor of Tawa, very famous restaurant, Tawa in Bandra. Who's Samir Hingora? Samir Hingora is the president of IMPA. What is IMPA? Indian Motion Pictures Producers Association. They have a film company called Magnum Films. And Samir Hingora is the president of IMPA. I tell the boys, bring them in. So they are brought in. नहीं sir, हमने कुछ नहीं किया, ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया. Typical. I tell them, no, I don't this. I'm arrested. See, these people were powerful people at that time. They were moneyed and they were powerful. I said, arrest them.
And lastly, to put timeline mein, this is 1 month in, this is 1.5 months in since you've made the detection?
March.
This
is March end. March end, this is. So we bring these 2 fellows in and they said, "नहीं, हमने कुछ नहीं किया, हमने कुछ नहीं किया." I said, "Nothing doing. We are arresting you in this case." And they are arrested. See, now we have shifted from traffic choki to Mahim police station.
Upgrade.
We've gone one grade up. We've come to Mahim police station. So I am sitting down in Mahim police station and there is a constable who comes in and tells me he comes in. I said, "Yeah, what?" He said, "Sir, those two accused want to speak with you. I said, which accused? He says, Hanif Kadawala, Samir Hingora. I said, what they want to speak to me? Well, typical, I want to meet my brother, I want to meet my mother, I want this. So I said, I don't have time for all that. He said, no, sir, usko kuch bolna hai, aapko hi bolna hai. I said, bring these two fellows in. So these two fellows are brought before me. And the first thing they tell me, sir, aap bade log ko pakadte nahi kya? I said, what do you mean by bade log ko pakadte nahi kya? I said, kaun bada, kisko maine chhoda hai? He said, Sanju Baba. I said, who's? Sanjay Dutt. I said, what has Sanjay Dutt got to do with this? And that is the time they told me that on 16th January 1993, they got a call from Anis Abraham to say that Baba Musa Chawan is bringing in a Maruti van with hidden cavity, he's bringing explosives and weapons inside. They need a quiet place to unscrew the cavity and take out the thing. Now, these people, Magnum Films has its office at Linking Road in some quiet corner. So he said, ki tere office ke bahar ye kara de. So these two fellows tell Anis ki we are having an issue with our landlord. And our landlord phones up the police and calls for the van at the drop of a hat. So don't take the risk here. So he says, Abhi kidhar, Anis tells them, kidhar, where do we unload this thing? They give the suggestion ki Sanju's house, it's a quiet place, and udhar. He says, हाँ ठीक है, मैं संजू से बात करता हूँ. You take the thing there. So this van is on 16th January piloted by Samir Hingora, Baba Musa Chawan in his vehicle, and the van is being driven by a character called Abu Salem Abdul Qayyum Ansari. He is driving the vehicle. They come to Sanjay Dutt's house. Anis Ibrahim has already made the call to Sanjay. So Sanjay tells them, you park the car here, you unload the thing here. Now, during that time, the riots were there. His father had done a lot of good work there. There were a lot of threats and abuses. So a constable, a guard was given there. So Sanjay Dutt asked the guard to move aside. Move from there, because the line of sight
He had to have known what was happening,
No,
right?
Karim,
I'm coming.
No, come on,
He
sorry.
does. So they take out, they open the cavity, and hand grenades, AKs, and all are taken. Sanjay Dutt keeps 3 AK-56. Sanjay Dutt keeps 25 hand grenades
25.
and rounds of the 9mm. He has already got it from Qayyum, another accused who's now in Pakistan. He's already got the 9mm from him, but he's kept cartridges there. These people do the entire thing and they leave from there. Then something comes in Sanju's mind, ki why so much stuff in my this. He phones up Anis in all probability, because Anis phones Hanif Kadawala and tells Hanif Kadawala, phones up Baba Musa Chawan and tells him, hero ke paas ja, wo kuch saman dega, leke aa jao. Now, this fellow, he doesn't have he doesn't have transport, Baba Musa Chawan. So he tells Abu Salem. Abu Salem has a friend called Mansoor Sayyed. So Mansoor Sayyed has a Maruti 1000. So in the Maruti 1000, Abu Salem, Mansoor Sayyed, they are there. Again they come, because Abu Salem tells them that on my own nobody will allow me inside, because nobody knows who's Abu Salem there. So he said, no, you go to Hanif Kadawala will pilot you this time. So Hanif Kadawala in his car pilots them, comes to Sanjay Dutt's house, and Sanjay Dutt gives them the returns. 2 AK-56 returns a majority of those hand grenades and the rounds. These people take that and they go away.
but he keeps.
He
enough.
keeps. He has kept. I'm coming to that.
Sorry.
So then, when this thing is told to me, I said, this is serious business. Now I want to corroborate what they are saying with Baba Musa Chauhan, because Baba Musa Chauhan first said, I don't know anything. So I called Baba Musa Chauhan. I said, तूने सच बोला क्या? हाँ सर सच बोला. Then from behind I gave a signal and these two fellows are brought out in front of Baba Musa. He looks at them. I said, अब बोलेगा कि मैं बुलवाऊँ? He tells me the truth. He corroborates everything what is said. Then I go to my boss, Mr. Memon Singh. I said, sir, we are now entering slippery. He said, why, what happened? I said, sir, this is what it is. He said, are you sure? I said, I'm 100% sure. I've questioned them at length. I've cross-checked. It is pakka. So he says, let's go and apprise the commissioner about it. So we walk across from the crime branch office to Mr. Samra's office, the commissioner's office. And, I explained to Mr. Samra what exactly it is. Mr. Samra listens to it. He says, are you sure, Rakesh? I said, yes, sir, I'm very sure. I'm 100% sure I wouldn't have come to you.
And just to paint a picture for a younger audience, not only is Sanjay Dutt famous, his dad, Sunil Dutt, is a very, very big politician in the Congress.
Then Mr. Samra tells me that Sunil Dutt is a member of parliament. Yeah. And he is a very senior member of the Congress. And because of the riots, he has taken a stand against the government for being partisan in the action there. So if we do something there, it would be construed that, we are this. So are you sure? I said, sir, I'm 100% sure. So he said, he asked me, he said, do you know where it is? I said, sir, according to them, he went into his bedroom. So he must have put it under the bed or somewhere. So if I go there, I'll be able to recover it. So he this, and their combined experience and this, they said, let's keep quiet. We'll not utter a word. Where is Sanjay Dutt? So I had already done my homework. I said, sir, he's in Mauritius. He's shooting for a film, Atish, in Mauritius. So he's not here. When is he coming back? I said, sir, I don't know when he's coming back. 10-15 दिन, 1 महीने में आ जाएगा वो. I said, okay, then we'll do one thing. We'll wait for him to come and then you this. I leave from there. We all leave from there. Next day, there used to be a paper, The Daily, here. Headline, Sanjay Dutt has weapons. And the whole, Sanjay Dutt is involved. I'm shocked. I said, what has happened? From there, I speak to Mr. Memon Singh, I speak to Mr. Samra. They are equally shocked. Who has leaked this out? I said, sir, apart from the three of us, nobody knows. And the people who are interrogating, during that time, I had made groups and people who I trusted with my life were there. So I knew they would not this. Then later on, many years later, we came to know that this journalist called Baljit Parmar, very senior person, good fellow. He was speaking to Mr. Y.C. Pawar, who was the additional commissioner, who passed an off-the-cuff thing, and this fellow caught on to it and gave the thing. Now the whole thing is gone because the surprise element is over. Now my bosses tell me, now you think how you're going to detect this case. In the meanwhile, Sanjay Dutt phones up the commissioner for Mauritius, saying that I've got nothing to do with this. My name, Befazul mera naam aa raha hai, and I've got nothing. So Mr. Samra speaks to me. The hero gave me a call. Are you sure? That seed of suspicion and doubt has been sown in the mind of the commissioner. I said, sir, I am 100% sure. मैं क्यों फंसाऊंगा? I have got nothing to do with this. He said, ठीक है, then let's wait for him to come. But you plan your strategy. Now, in my mind, this fellow is a hero. He comes from such a family. Father is so well known, an absolute secular man. There cannot be anybody more secular than him. Mother, who is regarded as Mother India because of a role in that film, Mother India. A secular family. This fellow has got now time to speak to lawyers. He's got time to prepare his defense. How am I going to this? And then the news comes that he is coming back on 19th April 1993. He is landing back in Mumbai. So So I tell the bosses, "Ki, sir, he's coming back," hoping that they'll send somebody else to look into this. I don't, sir, I'm very busy with this thing. So, okay, no, you go. Nobody else is going, you go. Now, that was one of the few times in my life that I was absolutely tense. Ki, how am I going to break this fellow? You can't physically do anything to him. He would have spoken to lawyers who would have briefed him what to say.
Yeah.
Again, it's fallen on my shoulders. So on 19th night, 19th April, I plan out the strategy in my head. 2 vehicles, my vehicle and another crime branch jeep. And I've handpicked the officers, I've handpicked the constables. And my only brief to them was, don't be starstruck. You will not utter one word. जो भी बात करेगा सिर्फ मैं बात करूँगा. You people will not utter one word. वो छत गिर जाए, भूकंप आ जाए, you will not utter one word to this fellow. Now, outside the airport, the father, the family, hundreds of workers, the entire press of the country with cameras and all are waiting for him to come out. I enter in plain clothes, crime branch, you wear plain clothes. I enter I come on the aero bridge where it meets the thing. This fellow is a first class passenger. He comes out first. So as he comes out, I put my hand around him. I had never met him before. I put my hand around him and I identify myself. I'm Rakesh Maria, DCP Mumbai. So he says, हाँ, बोलिए. I said, where is your passport and ticket? So he gives me the passport and ticket. I take that passport and ticket and I have an officer. It's all my planning which I've done earlier. I hand over the passport and ticket to that officer. Ki, go. Now that officer's job is to take the baggage, collect the baggage and hand over to his family. Now, where the plane and the aero bridge meet, there is a staircase which comes down. So I put my hand around him and I walk down the staircase. My ambassador car is parked below the aircraft with the police jeep behind. Now, the Mumbai International Airport and the domestic airport have a common airstrip.
Okay.
The tarmac is the same. I put him there. I am sitting down with my driver in the ambassador in front. This fellow is behind in the center and 2 hand-picked constables of mine sitting down next to him and the other officers behind. And we come along the tarmac from the international airport to the domestic, and from domestic Santa Cruz airport we come out. I bring him to this. He is ranting behind. My family is waiting. How can you do this? How can
in
you
a boisterous, like with the attitude, or is he? Can you
okay,
tell he's scared?
Not boisterous or anything, but ye theek nahi hai. My family is waiting. At least let me meet my family. My father, I want to meet. Nobody utters a word to him. Ha, na, yes, no. Nobody tells him anything. We come to the crime branch office. Now, during the course of the day, I've already identified a room with an attached toilet. Okay, that attached toilet, during the day I've taken out the door of the toilet. It's open. And I've got 1 officer and 2 constables waiting there. I briefed them what is to be done. He's kept in the room, instructions to them, not one word to be spoken. If he has to go to the toilet, there is no door, everything is open, he has to do this. No giving him cigarette to smoke. No calls, the telephone has been taken out. Not one word. Let him shout, do anything. And no matter who comes, no matter how senior the person comes, he will not be allowed without this. And I had this group, if I would tell them go and shoot somebody, they would have done that for me. Very loyal and... So from around 2:33 in the morning, he is sitting down all by himself, nobody uttering a word to him. Mr. M.N. Singh, my boss, had told me that I am coming to the office at 9:30. You place him before me at 9:30. I want to question him there. At around 8 o'clock, I enter the room. So this guy is there. You know, that initial thing of the night, it has worn off.
Yeah.
So I look at him and I tell him, will you tell me your story, or do you want me to tell you your role? You know, this is the first sentence I utter to him. So he looks at me, sir, मैं बेगुनाह हूँ, मेरा कुछ नहीं है इसमें. Now, you know, the pent up stress, emotion of the last few days, suddenly, you know, it got through to me. So he was sitting down on the chair like that. I just walked up. He had this long blonde hair during that time. So I just gave him a slap and he toppled a little back. I caught hold of his hair and pulled him up. You know, pulled him up. I said, gentleman जैसे बात करेगा कि मैं ये. He said, sir, आपसे अकेले में बात करना है. This is in the investigation the second time where somebody says अकेले में बात करना है. I said, no, this happened very fast. Sent everybody out and then he narrated the whole thing कि क्या हुआ, मेरे से गलती हो गई, but please don't tell my father. I said, you know, how can I not tell your father? Be man enough. You made a mistake. Be man enough now and, you know, you say. Anyway, 9:30, Mr. M.N. Singh comes. I place him before Mr. M.N. Singh. He tells Mr. M.N. Singh the same thing. Then Mr. Samra, he's placed before Mr. Samra, tells Mr. Samra the same thing. I am sitting down in my office. Now I am a relieved man. You know, yes, what I said was, you know, I was not wrongly implicating anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
The hotline rings. Hotline is internal communication amongst the commissioner and the DCP and above rank officers. So I pick it up. It is Mr. Samra on the line. He says, you know, Sunil Dutt is saying that we wrongly implicated my this. We have sent this fellow to the court for custody. And uska custody ho gaya and he's come back into our into the crime branch office. So Mr. Samra tells me that Sunil Dutt wants to come and meet you because they are not convinced. I said, sir, bhej dijiye. Because this was a very common thing during the blast. You know, the parents, the relatives come, कि हमारा तो बच्चा ये कर ही नहीं सकता. I said, you know, you are the last to know, कर नहीं सकता. Then I would try to tell them, but they would not be convinced. Then I would bring that person in, and in front of them he would speak to. They would, the accused would speak to the relatives, and then, ऐसे भी, like that. So I was used to. So I said, sir, bhej dijiye, I'll talk to them.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, Sunil Dutt, Rajendra Kumar, Mahesh Bhatt, Yash Johar, Baldev Khosa. These people come to the office and we have a waiting room down. They are made to sit there. I've been informed that they have come, so I come down. And Sunil Dutt, Mahesh Bhatt, first time I'm meeting these people. I've never ever met them before. And they tell me, no, you know, he's innocent, he can't do anything, this is not possible. Mahesh Bhatt says that, Yash Johar says that, Rajendra Kumar says that, everybody is saying that. Sunil Dutt says, you know, my son, I can't believe, anybody else I would be, but my son cannot do it.
No wonder.
I said, no, you know, it's not this, I have got nothing against you or this. Anyway, to cut it short,
Sir, don't cut anything short. We want you to cut nothing. This is amazing.
So I tell my fellow, Leo, and Sanjay Dutt is brought into the room. He sees his father. He howls like a child, goes and touches his feet and says, Papa, galti ho gayi mere se. You know, during this entire thing, my eyes were fixated only on Sunil Dutt's face. I had blanked out everything. I was just looking at that man's face. And I wouldn't wish this thing to happen to any father. To any father. You know, it's as if somebody had punched him in the solar plexus, and the air had just gone out from his body. His color, he turned pale. And he could never ever imagine that his son would do something so foolish. And anyway, they spoke, he cried, this, that, and that whole lot went away. Now, to me, the danger was if this fellow does something in the lockup.
Yeah.
It's, as it is, people say, hero ko galti se, janbujh ke ye kiya. So I had to be very careful. So he would invariably, during, keep asking the guards, Sab aaye kya, sab, me, has he come? He says, why? No, Saab ko milna hai. So they would bring him to me. Then he would sit down there. I had to do it because if I wouldn't do something, this guy would bang his head.
You're like a therapist.
So I was like a therapist. So, he would come and tell me I understood what is the Underworld film nexus. I understood, I came to know, his personal trials and tribulations, which were there. His love life, which was there. I felt sorry for the kid. It's, nobody, I really felt sorry. But coming back to the day when Sunil Dutt and all went, right from January till the blast happened, I had not gone home. And I had a 5-year-old son. My older boy, Kunal, was 5 years. Krish was not born at that time, but Kunal was 5 years old. I said, tonight I have to go home because what I have noticed, there should never be a communication gap between father and son.
Yeah.
So I went home first time that night. I just went, picked up, he was sleeping, I picked him up, just hugged him. And, in my mind, I said, I'm sorry, I'm not able to spend time with you. Forgive me, but I'll try and make up somehow or the other. But what I'm doing is important, try to understand that. So, this was what I saw there. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
So, I can ask you so much. One character that
I need to know about that came up in the story is Abu Salem. And I've talked about all the great things you've done. But this is the one thing, self-admittedly.
I wish, among the few mistakes in my life, in my career, this is one.
Okay.
And I'm admitting it. What happened was, when this whole thing about Baba Musa Chawan, Hanif Kadawala, everything opened out, then the question before us is, those weapons which went from Sanjay Dutt's house, where did they go?
Right.
So that Manzoor Sayyad is the fellow of Maruti 1000. So he is brought. So Manzoor Sayyad says, I went to near Mount Mary Church. There is a building called Vindhyachal Apartments. I went to Vindhyachal Apartments and I have dropped the vehicle I've dropped the saman at a lady called Zebunisa Qazi's house. I've dropped the saman there. So I told my fellows, go and bring Zebunisa Qazi. From Mahim going to Bandra, in 1 hour, Zebunisa Qazi is brought before me. She comes crying. Must have been around 48, 50-year-old lady. She comes crying, sir, I've got 3 daughters, single mother, So I don't know what, I felt sorry for her. I said, I said, सच बोल रही हो? सर बिल्कुल सच बोल रही हो आप. किसके ऊपर भी हाथ रखने बोले, मैं हाथ रख के, मेरा इसमें कोई रोल नहीं है. I told her, go. Because I had some other accused to question and all that. So I asked her to leave. After a few hours, I said, let me call Manzoor Sayyad again. So I called him again. I said, झूठ बोल रहा है तू, बेगुनाह औरत के ऊपर इल्जाम लगा रहा है. Why? What? I called her. I said, sir, क्या बोल रही है? मैंने उसके घर पर छोड़ा है. आप मेरे को सामने करो. So I told my fellows, go and bring her back. So they went and brought her back. And when she came, I went and I was about to slap her मैं जैसे सर मैं आपको सच बताती हूँ, the saman came, I don't know this Mansoor, I know a fellow known as Abu Salem. So Abu Salem brought this thing to my house and he said ये सामान है, आप ये रखो, मैं थोड़े दिन में लेके जाऊंगा. He came in a few days and he took it away. I said, see, if you are telling lies this time, if Abu Salem comes here and tells me that you are telling a lie, I will not spare you. Then she says, she's looking where my feet are and she says, sir, मेरे से गलती हुई. I said, क्या गलती हुई तेरे से? She says, after I left your office, I went outside, just outside Mime police station, there is an ISD PCO booth. She went outside and made a call to Abu Salem that because of you, I've been called to the thing. And Abu Salem tells her, I'm running from here, you also run from here. Abu Salem took the next flight before she came to me. He had gone to Delhi later on. From Delhi, he took a flight, went to Nepal, and from there he was out. Now, if I would have slapped Zebunisa Kazi in the first instance, I would have had Abu Salem in my custody. The entire history of the Mumbai underworld would have been different.
Yeah.
Because the terror which he unleashed
Yeah.
on behalf of Anis and Dawood Ibrahim from the 90s up to his arrest in Portugal on 18 September 2002, nothing like that would have...
An opportunity never came again after that. He was just gone.
He went out till he was extradited on 18 September. He came here on 20th September 2002, arrested there on 18th.
When they caught him in Spain, I think, right?
Portugal.
Portugal.
Lisbon.
When you found that out, firstly, were you, and this also brings me to a question, sort of, how closely did you and does the Mumbai police work with, say, the Interpol, or, when red notices are issued, etc.? And were you aware of the Interpol going after him?
Well, we prepared the thing. We prepared a lookout notice, a red corner notice for him. After I left from there, it was followed by the other deputy commissioners and all, till ultimately it culminated in his being extradited.
When he was caught in Portugal, did you breathe a sigh of relief?
Not sigh of relief. See, later on when I became additional CP crime, from Bandra to Dahisar in what was then called Northwest region, it extended from Bandra right up to Dahisar, and that was the peak of the time when extortions and the underworld would, you had Chota Shakil and Abu Salem uttering this phrase, De daan chute grahan.
What does that mean?
De daan chute grahan. Grahan is eclipse. So when the eclipse in Hindu, when the eclipse is regarded as very inauspicious. So for the shadow of the bad luck to pass the sun and the moon, you give daan. Right? So this is used by the underworld to phone up for extortion. De daan chute grahan.
Fantastic.
Abu Salem was at its peak. And my job as additional CP Northwest region was to, to instill confidence in the film industry, which was, and the builders at, then. So, people would come to me, the film industry people would come to me, ki, iska phone aaya, uska phone aaya. And then, in fact, one film industry bigwig, he came to my office, and while he's sitting down in my office, Abu Salem's call comes to him.
No way.
And he tells me it's Abu Salem. I said, give it to me. Then I take the phone and I abuse Abu Salem. I identify myself. I abuse Abu Salem, and I said, if anything happens to him, these are your relatives here. I will make sure that they are not, that they will not survive in this city. So that was the thing with Abu Salem and this, the fight with the underworld at that time. It was, late 90s, Abu Salem went berserk.
I just want to take this conversation a little bit back in time, further back in time, which is where your new book kind of starts. And I want to understand why Mumbai, of all cities in India, why did the underworld take a hold of this city in a way it did no other city in the country. Is this an unhappy coincidence? I know in the book you begin with the story of the Pathans. This is pre-partition. This is pre-independent India. Their movement, their migration to the city. How that begins, this sort of petty crimes begin, and then on the docks you have these illegal shipments and whatnot. Is this all an unfortunate coincidence that it's happened in this city, or is there something about the character of the city that's attracted this?
See, I have mentioned it in, let me say it now also. And it is also there in my book, which is coming out next month, When It All Began. This is the true history of the Mumbai Mafia. Now, Mumbai has been attracting people from all over the country. They come to Mumbai. Mumbai gives you that anonymity. You can come to Mumbai, and Mumbai will give you, nobody will die of hunger in Mumbai. So you have people from everywhere coming in here. Like if you read When It All Began, in that I have mentioned how the Pathans started coming to Mumbai in 1920.
Right.
From the 1920 onwards. And then you had Karim Lala coming into the city in 1936. He came here, started working first dock thefts. They used to do this freight wagons.
Right.
They used to loot freight wagons. Then the British at that time took a very stern this. One night they surrounded the Pathans, and you had Karim Lala's boss at that time, a fellow called Jumma Khan. Jumma Khan was a tall, hefty fellow. He would carry sacks from these freight wagons on his shoulder and jump from one bogie to another bogie. He was that type of. He was the leader of the gang. So the British got him. They caught him. They tried him, and they hung him. So the gang disintegrated. And Karim Lala was back to square one. And, they used to work like loaders at the, this. Then, how Karim Lala, at that time, the labor in the docks were controlled by Toliwalas. They used to have this Toli. Toli is a gang. So gang, not in the underworld sense, but like a group.
Understood.
So you had these Toliwalas, mainly two communities. One was the Malbaris from Kerala, and two were the Malbaris and the Mathadis from Maharashtra.
Okay.
Now, these people would extort money. The work was limited, but the labor was there. So people used to hang outside the dock gates, and then you had to pay money to the Toliwala, some commission. Then he would give you a job, and then you would go in. Now, Karim and group used to hang outside the docks waiting for work. And there used to be this Malbari Toliwala who used to give them work. So one day they were sitting down there, and this Malbari Toliwala comes and he tells them, no, I'll give you the work, but this, I'm increasing my percentage. So they said, we are doing so hard labor, we are doing, how can we give you, what is left for us? So he said, oh, मेरे को सुनना नहीं, तुमने ज़्यादा आवाज़ किया तो तुम्हारा अंदर आना बंद कर देगा. Now, Karim is sitting down there. Now, if you read my book, thing goes back. Ki why Karim has left Kunnar. He is from this Shaigal village in this, and he belongs to the Shafi Shinwari tribe of Pathans. Right. He's left Shaigal, and what prompted him to leave Shaigal? He was in love with a girl, and the surprising part. See, I had the
is this Neeraj Grover or is this worst case?
I had this opportunity to speak, and I have tape recorded conversations with Karim Lala and Haji Masta. after
Yeah.
after they had phased out.
Right.
I came as DCP Zone 4 in 1987. 2nd January 1988, Vardarajan died. You know, this gangster Varda. So I was DCP Zone 4 and my jurisdiction was Dadar, Mahim, Matunga, Dharavi, Trombay, Chembur, RCF, Matunga and Deonar. Out of which majority of this, Dharavi, Antop Hill, Matunga, Chembur, all this area was controlled by Varda. Till Mr. YC Pawar and Mr. Ribeiro took care of them. So Varda ran away from here. When he ran from here, Mr. YC Pawar's tenure of 5 years was getting over. So they were looking for an officer who would come and take over from Mr. YC and make sure that Varda doesn't come again and his group doesn't raise their head. So the government thought it fit, the department thought it fit that I should come there. So I was posted in the city, again, barely, I had put in barely 6 years of service at that time, with the only brief, just make sure that Varda doesn't come here again.
Ash, day one, Sir arrives, and the first thing Sir does is get some of the men back with his lathi and his charge. And
See, when I came, you know, before me, the officers were all senior, 20 years service, 25 years of service. I came with 6 years service. So, my chaps in Bombay, the senior inspector, the ACP said, "Ye to bacha hai." So I had to prove to them that I am not a bacha. I am equally determined and, I have the potential to do. So the first thing I did is go to Antop Hill and find out where, Khajabai lives, where Soma lives, his main henchman. And I went, they jumped out from the window and they ran. But, the word went around that this fellow means business, you can't do this. Anyway, coming back to this, 2nd January 1988, Varda died in Chennai. Now, his best friend was Mastan, Haji Mastan. So, he had told Haji Mastan that whenever I die, wherever I die, bring my remains back for cremation to Mumbai. So, Haji Mastan hired an aircraft to bring Varda's body from Chennai to Bombay. Now, he came to meet me, Mastan, that I am chartering a plane, I am bringing the body back. Sir, mere upar koi action mat lena. I am telling you, this is the last wish of my good friend. So I told him, the responsibility for ensuring that no problem takes place, law and order problem takes place, is yours. You have to make sure that. He says, "Nahi sir, wo aap mere upar chodo." So that thing got over. The funeral was over, everything was over. Then he comes to meet me to thank me for giving him the permission to do all that. So I said, no, I am not letting you go so easily. I want you to tell me what is the history of the
that's what you got in
Underworld. So he used to come and he gave me the full story of how the Underworld, how he came.
The acknowledgements of the book.
Oh, it's there. I mentioned it. I mentioned it in the book that it is, these are my sources.
Yeah.
Same thing with Karim Lala.
Right.
I met Karim Lala when I was DCP detection in 1994. I sent word to him that I want to meet you. So he phoned me up. He says, I am old now. I am not doing anything. तो आप साहब मुझे क्यों बुला रहे हो? मेरा कोई Underworld में. I said, no, you come to meet me. So he came to meet me. And he said, I'm not doing it. I said, no, I'm not calling you for that. I want to understand this. So I had another 3-4 meetings with him where again I have taped and this. So that is my insight into this. So he's told me that he he took part in the civil disobedience movement. Can you imagine Mahatma Gandhi's civil disobedience movement? You know, there was a Pathan leader called Frontier Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Sarhad Gandhi, you know, who was a big follower of Mahatma Gandhi. He started a group called Khudai Khidmatgar, Servants of God. This fellow, he was 19 years old at that time. And he said, okay, you know, I'm joining this thing. Now, Mahatma Gandhi started the Dandi March, the Salt Satyagraha, on 1st March 1930. He started this Salt Satyagraha marching from Sabarmati Ashram to go towards the sea, towards Dandi. And he reached Dandi on the 6th of April. And he made, you know, by the process of evaporation, he made a handful of salt. Now, this single action galvanized the whole country. And at that time, it was one country. India was one unbroken country. So from all over India, people started doing this civil disobedience. The Pathans, you know, the Pathans, they are a martial race. 400 tribes. 400 tribes.
Not non-violent.
Absolutely not non-violent. And the British didn't know how to handle a non-violent Pathan.
Right.
So he joined this, you know, the Pathans joined this, and on 23rd April 1930, there was a big rally organized by Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan in Peshawar. In Peshawar, there is a place called Kissa Khwani Bazaar. Now, Kissa Khwani Bazaar, what is Kissa Khwan? Kissa is story, Khwan is a teller. You know, there, a very peculiar thing, you have these inns where these travelers come and stay. Now, in addition to liquor, women and other things to entertain them, you had this Kissa Khwani fellows, you had the storytellers telling them stories. You know, you pay them and the storytellers were there. So this place is called Kissa Khwani Bazaar. So at Kissa Khwani...
If we were born back in that day, that would have been our job also.
So Kissa Khwani Bazaar incident, it was like the Jallianwala Bagh incident where the British opened indiscriminate fire. It's there in my book.
And driven into the crowd.
You know, this, and you had, you know, 200 odd people killed at that time, and very little is written about this incident in history books.
Yeah.
Karim Lala, much against the wishes of the elders of his village, convinced a few friends, let's go to Peshawar for this thing. And when they went there in that firing, one of his friends got killed. Now, when they came back, you know, in the media, see, Karim Lala, 19 years old, has fallen in love with a girl from the village. Now, that girl reciprocates his love. But there is a triangle to it. There's a third fellow, a cousin of Karim Lala, who is also eyeing the girl. Now, he sees this as an opportunity. So when Karim Lala comes back, the whole village, you know, is angry, you know, why, you know, one of our kids has got killed. And this is the fellow, this boy, you know, the third angle of the triangle. He tells this kid, it is because of Karim Lala. Now, Karim, he was not Lala at that time, he was Karim Khan. So Karim Khan and that fellow have a fight, a hand-to-hand fight. And Karim Khan takes out the dagger. You know, all of them carry khanjar dagger. He takes out the dagger and stabs that boy to death. And then runs from there to his house. Now, Karim Lala's father had 4 wives. Now, Karim's mother, Beguma, had 3 sons. Karim, Rahim, and another third son. So, the moment he comes and tells her what happened, she realizes, you know, they follow a very unique code of conduct called Pashtunwali in the Pathans. Now, Pashtunwali is a very unique code of conduct which is handed down verbally from generation to generation. And the 4 pillars of Pashtunwali are honor, loyalty, reciprocity, and swift retribution. These are the 4 pillars of Pashtun and the central pillar is what is called Nang. N-A-N-G, Nang. Nang means honor. Honor is everything to a Pathan. So if any aspect of Nang is impacted, it creates an imbalance. And how do you rectify this imbalance? This imbalance can only be rectified by action. And what is this action? This action is called Badal. Now what is Badal? Badal is retaliation or revenge. So, modesty of woman, courage, loyalty, manhood, these are different shades of this Pashtunwali. So, if any of these is affected, revenge is not an emotion to the Pathans. Revenge
Legal
is a
sanctity.
duty.
Yeah.
Is a duty. This. If you read my book, once Dawood and everybody comes on the picture, into the picture, normally how it is, this gang is having a problem with this gang, then they realize this is affecting us commercially.
Yeah.
So let's now do what in Bombay terms you call Mandoli. Mandoli is you enter into an understanding. Okay, we will not do. A Pathan could not do that.
Yeah.
Because there is no Mandoli in the Pathan. The Pathans had to do revenge. If you don't do revenge, it is there. So my whole book is replete with incidents where this thing is there.
Yeah.
So the mother realized that Pashtunwali is very, very clear. An eye for an eye.
They'll kill her
So
son.
the other family is well within their rights to kill Karim, or if Karim is not available, any of his other brothers.
Yeah.
So what she does, she takes all these 3 kids and runs to Peshawar. And he goes to Peshawar. And Karim is one of the few Pathans who's slightly educated. He could read and write Pashto and Urdu. Now because of that, to police and monitor the far-flung tribal areas, they had, this Harry Lumsden, the British, in 1851 started what is called the Punjab Frontier Force, PFF. Now this is like how we have the home guards and all today. You don't perform army drills or police drills or anything, but you have the power to arrest somebody, to maintain law and order, to convene a jirga. Jirga is the council. Now Karim became a khasadar. Khasadar is like the low constable there. And because he could read and write Pashto and Urdu, they posted him in a place in Peshawar which used to give residence permits. Now the Pathans had no state. They didn't have a state. So to enable them to travel, this was a very important document, this residence permit, because it was proof of identity and it could facilitate your traveling from one place anywhere in India. Now, there the corruption was such, above the Khasadars, there used to be somebody called Karyadar. Now, the Karyadar who was handling this permits where Karim was working, he was a corrupt fellow. So, one of Karim's friends went to take the permit, so he asked him for money. So, that fellow came to Karim, that friend came to Karim and said, your boss, this Karyadar is asking for this. So, Karim went to the boss and said, apne pehchan wala hai, he's with this, don't. So that fellow abused, the Karyadar abused Karim. Now Karim, he can't take an abuse, no matter what authority or anything. So he beats the Karyadar. So that's the end of his Khasadar post. So he leaves from there and then comes to Calcutta. He comes to Calcutta. And he works in Calcutta from 1932 to 1936 as a coolie. But that Karyadar who's there has his contacts in Calcutta. So he doesn't allow Karim to get a good job there. Then it dawns on Karim that I'm not getting anything here because of this fellow. What to do next? Next step, 1936, he comes to Mumbai. And then becomes a loader here and this, that.
Yeah.
So again coming back, that Malbari Toliwala is abusing. So Karim gets angry.
Yeah.
Everybody is, the Pathan loaders are sitting down quietly. Karim gets angry, goes to this Malbari fellow and beats the hell out of him. So the Malbari, along with his minions, they all run away from there. That is the day Karim becomes the leader of the Pathans. They start calling him Lala, which is big brother. So Karim becomes Karim Lala.
Sir, have you read F. Rustamji's book? When I read your new book that's coming out next month, it reminded me of that in terms of cataloging an era of our country that not forget anybody's talking about. People don't even know that's an era that exists. You never question the sort of etymology of these words and these things that we've grown up with, the underworld, the mafia. We don't know where it comes from. We just assume that ho gaya hoga 1980s, 1970s, but the history is so rich. And in the way that he documented, I think, the dacoits of MP, you have documented the mafia of Mumbai. And to anybody listening, and I know Desi Crime listeners, you will buy the book, but it's honestly...
I'll tell you, my book begins, Karim Lala's date birth is 1911. Vardarajan is 9th October 1925. Mastan, 1st March 1926. Mastan comes first to Mumbai when he is 8 years old. He comes in 1934. Karim Lala comes in 1936. Varda comes 1944. He comes 1944. Now, there is nothing, nobody knows. Digitalization came in so late. Newspapers don't have their archives of that time. So nobody knows what exactly happened in 50s, 60s, 70s. Whatever you people are writing now is from 80s onwards. 80. And that also, it's not the whole truth. I was posted in the city in 1987. Now, I always had this fascination for crime, criminals, underworld. That time, terrorist, one had not, anticipated this. So, I wanted to know more of the underworld. So, in the police, there is a rule that most of the documents are destroyed every 30 years.
Okay.
No way.
It is destroyed every 30 years.
Why is that?
Because you don't need, no? Now, why would
Most
means, of course, there is a crime thing and all that would remain.
Understood.
But the other, so every Saturday, Sunday, a holiday of mine would be spent at Nagpada, Agripada, Dongri, VP Road, Baikla, these police stations, taking down notes. I took down very copious notes of what the underworld was.
There's just something I've been curious about. One of the more jarring images in the newer book is so many of these gangsters and dons at different dargahs, their like routine of praying, their rituals. And it's such a jarring image to me from these conversations you've had with them, someone like Haji Mastan. How religious were they in their practice? And how did that dichotomy kind of fit together?
See, they were religious, but some gangsters, like you take Dawood Ibrahim. Now, Dawood Ibrahim inherited this belief of peers and these holy men from his father. His father was a very close friend of a chap called Rashid Arba.
Okay.
A big time smuggler, which if you read my book, in that book, I mentioned about Rashid Arba, Ibrahim Kaskar, that is Dawood's father. In fact, the story is that there used to be a Baba called Nirale Shah Baba. So when Dawood was born, Ibrahim Kaskar went to Nirale Shah Baba. And Nirale Shah Baba told him that you will have 7 sons. And the second son will be very rich, famous and powerful. So the father kept that in mind. So of all his sons, he put this son, Dawood, in an English medium school, Ahmed Sailor School. The rest were all put in order, but this with the hope that, that
He will
Nirali
do it.
Shah Baba
That's a
has said.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, literally it
So,
is.
so that is one. Again, in my book, I mentioned that one day Dawood was a great believer in peers and holy men. There is a Chilla is the resting place of a very famous peer called Gulab Shah Baba. Now, Gulab Shah Baba's Chilla is, the dargah is at Naryalwadi Kabristan, but the Chilla, his resting place, was near Lotus at Worli. And even today, every year, there is a big fair. The Lotus cinema is not there, but there is a big fair and all held for this. So, Dawood, along with his brother Sabir and friends, go to the Chilla of Gulab Shah Baba. And Gulab Shah Baba is in a trance. He's sitting down there and these people are there. Now, compared to Dawood, who was very serious and, he really believed in all this, his older brother Sabir was, he was somebody whose, attention span could be beaten by a sparrow. So, he couldn't this. So he was giggling, laughing, giggling there while these people all there. So the Gulab Shah Baba opened his eyes and told him, "Teri hayati bahut kam hai." Hayat is your life. Your life is very short. So, and he looks at Dawood and he tells Dawood, "Dekh, ऊपर देख, जितना ऊंचा देख सकता है देख." So Dawood is, he believes, Dawood looks up. So he says, "तू जितना ऊपर देख रहा है उतना ऊंचा तू जाएगा." So Dawood comes back, they all come back. Now at the back of his mind, Dawood, this thing is there, and shortly after that, Sabir is killed. On 11th February 1981, Sabir gets killed at the petrol pump. The Pathans shoot him dead at the petrol pump. So in Dawood's mind, the thought is there. The Baba said this. So he also feels, the Baba said this. So this fellow's one half of the prediction has come true. What about the second part? So they were all great believers. I'll tell you about, again I mentioned in the book, there is an incident of a firing incident on Rashid Arba. Now the Pathans, when this fight took place, Pathans kill Sabir. Dawood kills Alamzeb in the court. He kills him in the court on 3rd September 1983 in the Sessions Court. He is done there. Now they are killing each other. Then they realize that, the Pathans realize that Dawood ki takat kya hai? Dawood ki takat are two people. One is Rashid Arba. Rashid Arba became one of the biggest smugglers in Mumbai. He was moneybags here. And he is the one who mentored Dawood and all that to enter into smuggling. He and there's another character called Umar Bakshi. Umar Bakshi was the owner of this Persian Darbar chain of hotels. The Pathans kill Umar Bakshi. That is also in my book. It's an incident worth this, where he puts a gun, Alamzeb puts the gun in Umar Bakshi's mouth, and it's a very fascinating read. We don't have the time for that. So Rashid Arba is sitting down with a Baba called Islam Baba, who is also a very important figure for the underworld at that time. He's sitting down in a Fiat car, and they are at Worli Naka. And at Worli Naka, at the petrol pump, while they are filling petrol, the Pathans come. You have Shehzada Lambu, who is the brother of Amir Zada. You have Rafan Mia. You have got Azim Pelwan. These people come, and how big would be a Fiat car? And this fellow is driving, and next to him Islam Baba is sitting down. And in that car, they fire at least 25-30 rounds. This fellow takes about 12 to 13 rounds. Rashid Arba takes. Not one bullet scratches Islam Baba in the confines of that car. And this is not what I am saying. The crime branch team which visited the spot, when they went to the car, they were, they said, okay, there's no chance anybody can survive. So they go to Jaslok Hospital where this fellow has been taken. And while they go to Jaslok Hospital, Rashid Arba is being wheeled into for surgery. He puts his head out, recognizes those crime branch fellows and says hello to them. And he survives. He survives. So this is the belief the underworld had on Babas and this. Again, later on, right towards the end, when Karim Lala loses everybody, Samad, his nephew, is killed. I mentioned that there are lots of stories and kite flying going on about Samad's killing, who did it, why they did it. It's there in my book. Then Rahim Lala, Karim Lala's brother, he is killed. Then how that case got detected, there used to be a Pathan informant called Papa Lapata. He was called Lapata because he used to disappear. He would never come in the hands of the cops. And any goods you keep, if he's around, that goods will disappear. So he was called Papa Lapata. So Papa Lapata was searching. There's a corporator called Rusi Mehta. They were searching for. He got a contract. They need some shooter to kill Rusi Mehta, the corporator. So he's searching for shooters for Rusi Mehta. So he comes and he goes to a country liquor bar and he meets Ramesh Umesh Verma alias Sohel. He meets Mukhtar Lakdewala, he meets Sohel, Deep, Anand, all these fellows are drinking. So this is after Rahim Lala's murder. Nobody knows who has killed Rahim Lala. The cops are searching for the murderer. The underworld is searching for the murderer. Nobody knows who has done it. It was done near Nagpada, near that Sarwar restaurant, where this fellow was going to attend somebody's prayer meeting, death prayer meeting. And motorcycles come. Those guys are wearing Santa Claus mask and this, that. And this happened on 6th December 1986. So, Christmas time. Yeah. So Santa Claus with the Santa Claus mask and all that.
They were on the naughty list.
And they come and they block his vehicle. No, from behind. There's an ambassador behind. It comes and bangs his car, his vehicle. Yeah. So the driver and security of his gets down to see what it is. In the meanwhile, these motorcycles come, put guns. They shoot this fellow dead. And they run away from there. Nobody knows what happened. Rahim Lala is killed. 13 bullets in Rahim Lala. He's dead. Now, Papa Lapata is searching for a shooter for Rusi Mehta. Yeah. So he comes, sits down with them and says, I need a shooter for this. Koi acha shooter batao. So now this fellow called Anand, who's a Bengali, he's had one too many. He tells them, "Arey tu shooter, hum log hai na." So he said, "Tum log pagal, tum log to robber log ho. They are, robbers. Tum log to robber log ho. What are you going to do this काम?" He said, "तू क्या बात कर रहा है? हमने तो रहीम लाला का काम किया है." He said, "So what?" In the meanwhile, Ramesh Umesh Verma alias Sohel, he's converted to Islam. The Majid and Hamid have converted. So that also is a huge story, what happened in the jail and why he got converted. So he says, "नहीं ये सब पिया हुआ है, इसको कुछ मालूम नहीं." They all move out from there. But this Papa Lapata is a seasoned fellow. He goes to Abdul Rahman, who's Rahim Lala's son. And now, after Samad Khan's death, Karim Lala is on the back seat. He's semi-retired. It is Abdul Rahman who is now taken over the reins of the Pashtunwali. He is this. So he goes to Abdul Rahman Lala and tells Abdul Rahman Lala, these fellows have done it. That fellow tells some cops, Ramesh Umesh Verma is picked up from behind Metro Cinema, taken to Chandshawali Dargah at Sakinaka. He's taken there to a bungalow at Chanshavali Dargah. There he's tortured the whole night. Next day he's encountered in the jurisdiction of DN Nagar police station. So, these are all episodes which I have written in my book. And as I mentioned there, I want to set right few myths which are there about the underworld, why things happened, how things happened. So I have Amirzada, Alamzeb, their stories in the book. I have got Hamid and Majid. Today if Hamid was alive, if Samad was alive, and if Alamzeb was alive, if these three were alive, Dawood would not have been the Dawood that he is today. So if there was anybody who could give them, could counter them, it was these. How it all happened, how Dawood manipulated the whole thing, how at that time the policemen, the thing of encounters was not there at that time. So the police started outsourcing the dirty work by using gangs.
Okay.
So they started killing each other. So it's all there, which shootout happened, why, and this with the story. So it's this book, when it all began, is the history of the Mumbai underworld, which I have written. It's 38 years of research.
Link is in the description, obviously, and on Amazon it'll be available. And of course, Desi Fam, you have to go and buy, and we'll push this book as much. So, I would lock you in here for as many days as I could, and if I could just keep listening to stories. Time is finite for you. Before we let you go, it's been 3 hours that has just vanished, and I would love a part 2 someday if you could rejoin us and tell us more stories. Our listeners wanted to know one thing. They sent in a ton of questions. We don't have time for that. But one thing, you've been a voracious consumer of crime fiction and all growing up. What's your favorite crime film, crime show, crime book?
One really didn't get time because one was watching a crime film right through. So spending time to watch a crime film or to read a crime book was this. But there was one serial which a friend of mine told me you must watch. I watched the first few seasons, maybe two seasons, 2 seasons of that thing. A show called 24.
Yeah. The Indian one.
No, Indian one came much later.
Oh,
in which Anil Kapoor was
the OG.
there. No, I'm talking of in which Kiefer Sutherland is there. I found it very good. It was something which it's 24 is 24 hours. So what happens every hour in 24 hours, which I found, it was akin to a lot of times when we are doing operations and, time is of the essence. So in the 24 hours, I liked that. And Indians, I've not really watched. I've not got the time. And after retirement, I think most of the time first went in the first book. And this book has taken, I told you, 38 years of research, but it's taken me 5 years to write this book.
Wow.
Before the podcast started, so it was like, now I have a writer's block. I'm like, of course, so you've written everything there was possibly you could write. It's not called a writer's block, it's called you need a break. You're exhausted.
There is so much. When I started collating information to write this book, I said I'll write one book. When I started writing, there is so much. And every incident is important because it contributes to an action somewhere.
Right.
So you can't. So this book, when it all began, is phase 1 of the 2-phase book. So I hope...
this is Sir's Bahubali. And we will keep waiting for the next part.
Thank you so
Rakesh
much.
sir, thank you so much
It
for
has
joining.
been a
It's
pleasure.
an honor,
Thank you.
pleasure. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for having me over, and all the very best to both of you. Best wishes to your viewers. God bless all of you.
Thank you so much.
If you like what we do here at Desi Studios and absolutely love what we're wearing today, this is merch you can go buy all for yourself.
You can buy this Desi Crime merch in our YouTube store on the link down below at Karak Merch.
keep the engines at Desi Studios rolling so we can pay our videographer right behind the camera to make these amazing episodes just for you.